Hello students, welcome to my lecture series on vector calculus. In this class, I will introduce you Gauss divergence theorem. First, I will give the statement and then I will prove it in a simple case. Then we will see some applications of Gauss divergence theorem. Okay, fine. So, our class today will be of Gauss divergence theorem. So, very important theorem. It is useful in the engineering and science field, especially in the physics, and of course wherever vector fields and scalar fields are there, wherever it is necessary to convert a surface integral into volume integral or volume integral into surface integral, this theorem is compulsory. Okay, so fine. So today's our class will be on Gauss divergence theorem. Gauss divergence theorem. The complete meaning and complete applications will come in the physics and engineering fields. Okay, so now we will see the Gauss divergence theorem in simply a mathematical perspective. The physical applications and everything will come in the engineering and science fields. So let us see what is the statement of this first. The statement as follows. So let S be a closed surface. Let S be a closed surface enclosed a volume V. If F is a continuously differentiable vector point function, then volume integration of divergence of will be is equal to flux, that is surface integration of F dot ds or handicap unit normal. So this can be written as, so volume integration divergence of F into dv, then surface integration to a closed surface, obviously it is a closed surface, F dot n cap ds. Okay, so this is what actually the Gauss divergence theorem statement. We need to prove it. Okay, so we'll prove this in a simplest case. Okay, so we'll prove this in a simplest case. So let us take first. So proof of this, of course easy, as we are taking it in the simplest form. So first of all, let us take any vector function will have the x component and y component and z component. So f is ever wish f1, f2, then f3, f1, f2, f3. Okay, this is the f. Now in the left hand side, volume integration with the divergence of f. So obviously here divergence of f in Cartesian coordinates, it will become dou f1 by dou x I plus dou f1 by dou y j plus dou f1 by dou z k. This is the divergence of f. So now we'll see the LHS part and RHS part separately. LHS part will be volume integration of dou f1 by dou x I plus dou f, I'm sorry, here it is f2 and here it is f3, dou f2 by dou y j dou f3 by dou z into k. So that is volume integration is dx dy dz, that will be is equal to surface integration of f dot n cap, that is f dot n cap, it can be written as f1 I cap plus f2 j cap plus f3 k cap dot product with ds. So ds will be can be written as unit normal is n cap and magnitude will be ds. If there is a surface will be like this, so there is a unit normal, that is n cap, and this elemental area I can take as a ds. This is the elemental area is of ds, okay, into n cap ds. So now let us further see the left hand side of this. So will be, I'll write, so three parts will be here. The volume integration of first part will be dou f1 by dou x into dx dy dz. Okay, I'm sorry, here I in the divergence I cap and j cap will not come, so this will not come, here also will not come, and here also will not. As the divergence of f will be a scalar, it is only will come as like this. So next will be the same volume integration of dou f2 by dou y into, so dou y dou x dou z, then same volume integration of dou f3 by dou z into dz dx dy. So that will be then again surface integral, that is the closed f1 into ds I cap dot n cap, then next plus surface integration f2 into ds j dot n cap, then plus same surface integration f3 into ds k cap dot n cap. So this is the first term, this is the second term, and this is the third term. So this is the left LHS part. In the RHS part also there is a first term, and this entire thing will be the first term, this entire thing will be the second term, and this entire thing will be the third term. Now you see the further. But we know here, so what is this will be, ds is a magnitude I dot n cap. So this can be written as I cap dot ds. ds is a vector. So ds is a vector whose component will be along normal, which is I cap. We know that I cap is the normal for yz plane. This can be written as dy dz. Similarly, ds j dot n cap. So that means j dot ds vector. The component along y, that is normal, y axis will be the normal here. Y axis will be the normal for zx plane. So next ds into k dot n cap. This can be written as k dot ds. Similarly, here z axis will be the normal to xy plane. dx dy. So this we have already studied in the surface integration. This will be careful. This even we can represent in terms of direction cosines also. Okay, fine. So now let us see what will happen to the RHS part. Now what will happen to the RHS part? There is no change in the LHS part. Let's see what happens to the RHS part. Let's see what happened to the RHS part. The LHS part, nothing will be changed. So LHS part will be, that is volume integration of dou f1 by dou x into dx dy dz plus volume integration of dou f2 by dou y dy dz dx. Next volume integration of dou f3 by dou z dz dx dy. Then here it will be the surface integration, surface integration of, that is what we are getting here, f1. So I cap, which is normal to yz plane, dy dz, then plus, then surface integration of f2j, that is normal to yz plane, sorry, xy plane. So xz plane, zx, and last one will be surface integration of f of 3 into, this will be of k, that is normal to xy. Okay. So now what we need to prove here, this term, this term will be, we need to prove is equal to this term, and this term will be equal to this term, and this term will be equal to this term. That's what actually we need to prove. So any one component we can prove. So you see I said something wrong here, just a wait. So this first component will be equal to here first component, I'm sorry. Then here second component will be equal to here the second component. Then here the third component will be equal to here the third component. Okay. So first the three parts will be there in this problem. So let us take this is the first part. Let us say this is the second part. Our wish, let us say this, if we say this is the first part, first components, this is the second part, second component, and this will be the third part. Three parts will be there in this problem. This is the third part. So that means here we need to prove, as for the first part, we need to prove volume integration dou f1 by dou x dx dy dz will be is equal to surface integration of f of 1 dy dz. As of the second part, we need to prove volume integration of dou f2 by dou y into dy dz dx will be is equal to surface integration of f of 2 dz dx. Then that is the third term what we need to prove, that I will take first now. So that is a volume integration of dou f3 by dou z dz dx dy will be equal to surface integration of f of 3 dx dy. So this is what actually we need to prove. Step by step we need to prove. So this what actually we need to prove here. So for that purpose, let's say any one thing we can take. Let's say I am taking this one. I'm sorry. So let's say I am taking this one. I am taking this one. The third part we will take. Then we will prove LHS will be is equal to RHS. So for any arbitrary closed surface you take with the limits and everything, that will be as usually we can generate it. So let us go further. So LHS will be is equal to, we need to prove it is equal to RHS. Okay, fine. Now let us take the LHS. Now I'll take some closed surface here. I have the ready-made image that I'll take. Otherwise, even we can draw it. That is not an issue. So let us take. I'm taking a XYZ plane. This is plane. I'm taking x-axis, origin, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Now you take a closed surface. So let's say I may be taking this will be the closed surface which encloses some volume. So now I'll take a small pot. So now let us take a pot will be like this. This is the pot we are taking. So above part here, it is below part. For this above part and below part. Yeah. This is the above, this is the surface. This is the surface. And above part and below part. Now you draw any line which is parallel to z axis. So now I will draw a line which is parallel to z axis and assume that it divides into two parts. So now I will draw a line. So when there is I will draw a line which is parallel to z axis. So let's say this is a line which is parallel to z axis. This is the line which is parallel to z axis. Now, so of course if I take the projection of this, the projection of this will be like this. The projection of this will be like this. Which is in the xy plane. This is the projection. This is the projection. This is the projection. Okay. So this red color will be the surface. Now upper part of this will be, I'll take, this is the upper part of this surface. We call it the upper part and I call it the bottom part. Upper part and the middle. Okay. So, so this is the closed surface. Let us name it as S. Upper part you give the name as S1. This is the upper part, I will give as the name S1. And the lower part I will give the name as S2. Lower part I will give the name as S2. So in this is the region, I will call it the R is the region in xy plane. We can call it the projection. It's projection. It's the projection here. It is the projection. So that means what I finally I'll write here. I'm taking a S is a closed surface. Okay. So if I take any line, which is this is the any line. Let's say it cuts the surface at 2 points. This is the point 1 and this is the point 2. So any line parallel to the coordinate axis cut S at most 2 points. And more than 2 points also possible, but simplest I am taking 2 points. Okay. So that means a line cuts the surface at most 2 points. This is important. At most 2 points. So any line parallel to the coordinate axis. Let's say I am drawing here, which is parallel to the z axis here. This line cuts the surface at most 2 points. This is the point 1 and this is the point 2. So if I take some reference plane, above part will be the S1 surface and below part will be the S2 surface, and the both projections on the xy plane will be the region R that is bounded here. Okay. So now above part and below part. So now we need to write that S1 will be the above part, S1 will be the surface upper part, so S2 will be the surface lower part. If we take our lower part, so let's say this upper part will be a surface, as it is can be written as Z is a function of xy here, and this is again Z is a function of some g of xy, x1 and s2, two surfaces. Okay, so these are the two surfaces, upper part and bottom part. Okay. Firstly, I am taking S is a closure surface. I am drawing a line which is parallel to the coordinate axis, cuts at 2 points. So with respect to that reference plane, above one will be the S1 and below one will be the S2. Their projections is a region in XY plane. That region I am taking as a R. So definitely we need to take the projection because you need to prove in the right hand side there is a surface integration. Okay. So now I already said this I am taking. So this one I am taking. This I will take. LHS I will prove is same as that of the RHS. Okay, that you keep in mind. We are taking this one and we are proving this one, this point. Okay, fine. So now upper part and bottom part and everything is clearly mentioned. Now let us take the LHS of the third part. So what is that LHS of the third part will be? So LHS of the third part will be so LHS part will be what is that integration of, that is volume integration of dou F3 by dou Z into, and I'll write dz into dx dy. So now let's say this part I can perform the integration. This part I can perform the integration with respect to Z. So with respect to Z I can perform here, then it is only remaining will be so xy, only xy coordinates. That to be we are taking the projection in xy plane. So that means this will become, this can be, this is the region, that is the projected region in xy plane, region in xy plane. This is the xy plane region. XY plane region. So there I am getting a so this integration, after that integration what I will get? F3 I will get. So F3 I will get with lower limit is lower surface, that is S2 is a function of G. So lower surface and upper surface there we have written. Lower part is G and upper part is F. Lower part is here the Z coordinate we need to write. Here Z will be is equal to G of xy and the upper part will be, lower part is G and upper part is F. Okay. So after writing this limits, then what else? So lower part is G and upper part is F. So the thing is remaining here, that is dx and then dy. So now this integration will have this region in xy plane. So now substitute the upper limit f of 3, there is an x, y, z, upper part is f of, again it is a function of xy, upper part minus lower part f of 3, x, y, g is again a some coordinates xy. Then finally I have dx and dy. Now this can be written as, this will be is equal to region, this is the region f of 3 into dx dy. F of 3 is a function of dx dy minus region into, so f of 3 into, so f of 3 that is dx dy. Remember here f of 3 is a function of x, y, f upper part. F of 3 is a function of x, y, g. Don't cancel here. F of 3s are different. This f of 3 is different and this f of 3 will be different. So now this is the upper part. This is the upper surface. And this will be the lower surface. As I have seen in the figure, this is the surface and we have taken the reference here. This is the surface and this is the upper surface. Normal will be like this, and for the lower surface normal will be like this, and of course here the normal is, one is of k cap, another one is of minus k cap. So this can be written as we have already written. So what is dx and dy? So dx and dy will be is equal to, so so k dot n cap ds, k dot n cap ds, that we already know. So that means, so this ds and dy can be written as component of k. component of K. So that means this will be, so region R, that is the surface, upper surface S1, upper surface S1, f of 3 into K dot n cap ds. So upper surface will, for bottom surface it is minus K cap. This minus minus will become plus. That is surface S1 f of 3 into K dot n cap ds. K dot n cap ds. So this is the S2. So this is the upper part and this is the lower part. So this is the upper surface S1, upper part, that is S1, and this is the bottom part S2, that is the lower part. So finally, so what I have here, so upper part and bottom part, so both will obviously the complete surface, S1 plus S2. S1 plus S2 means that is the complete surface. S1 plus S2 means complete surface. So that means I can write, it is simply of F1 plus F2 is the complete surface. S into F of 3 K dot n cap into ds. Okay, so that's what actually I am getting here. That is volume integration of, so dou F3 by dou Z into dou Z, dou X, dou Y. So this is the third part we proved. In a similar manner, in similar manner, we can prove, volume integration of dou F2 by dou y into dz dx will be is equal to surface integration of f of 2 into j cap dot n cap into ds. So volume integration of dou f of 1 by dou x dx dy dz will be is equal to surface integration of f of 1 I cap dot n cap into ds. So overall the left hand side is a complete, that is, so this one we add left hand side, 3 terms are there. This is the finally first term, second term and the third term. That's what we need to prove. So left hand side and right hand side will automatically will be E. Okay. So f dot n cap ds. So this is what already we need to prove. This I already said to you. So once again go through what is the statement of this. What we have proved here. What is the statement of this? The Gauss divergence of theorem. The statement is very simple. You take a closed surface enclosed by a volume, obviously any closed surface. For example, if you take a ball, football, it is a closed surface enclosed some volume. So the room in which you are sitting, so will be the 6 walls are there, top, bottom, left, right, so front and back. It is bounded by 6 surfaces, that is a closed volume. Now f is a vector function I am taking, then divergence of that will be, volume integration will be is equal to flux, that is surface integral, that we need to prove. In the simplified manner, we have written like this in Cartesian coordinate system. So we have taken f will be like this, we have taken, then divergence of f we have calculated, then LHS part will be this and RHS part will be, so this, then we need to prove LHS will be is equal to RHS. That means each part will be equal to the first part will be equal to here first part, the second part here will be is equal to second part, then third part will be is equal to third part. So then it will be like this. So first part we need to prove, second part we need to prove, third part. Any one thing we prove, then similar manner. The third part I am taking. So for that purpose, this red color surface will be the closed surface I am taking. This will be the closed surface. So let us take the coordinate system in such a way that any line drawn parallel to the coordinate axis cuts the surface at most 2 points. It may be 3 points, it may be 4 points. This is the easiest case we are taking. So that I will get so like upper part and bottom part. S1 will be the upper part and S2 will be the lower part. Your wish, you can take the lower is S1 and upper is F2, S2. Then the third part we are taking, this integration will become this much. So this will be like this. So then I'm step by step I'm doing the integration. It's as a function of x, y and small f upper part and x, y into g the lower part. Then upper part which is parallel to the z axis, that is k cap. So n normal is parallel to, that is downward normal will be the minus k cap. Then I'll get the complete surface. So in similar manner we can prove for the rest of the two surfaces. With that I have proved what is the Gauss divergence theorem. So you need to remember here regarding the Gauss divergence theorem, the first point will be is equal to Gauss divergence theorem. So what we have written here in the Gauss divergence theorem, the surface integration, that is the closed surface integration, so will be is equal to n cap f dot ds, n cap f ds. So will be is equal to, that is flux will be is equal to divergence of volume integration, divergence of that f with. So from this we can write two more identities. So that two more identities will be like this: surface integration of not necessarily dot product, it can be a cross product also. N cross f ds will be is equal to, so volume integration of here automatically will come as a del cross f into dv. That is, you can prove your own way. So third one, it will be surface integration of, so even scalar function also can be possible. N cap phi, not necessarily a vector function. ds will be is equal to, of course, closed surfaces. All are closed. The volume integration of gradient of phi into dv. Okay. So these two are the implications from here only. We can prove also. So try yourself. Try yourself. Okay. So while proving these results, you may be needed some important relations. That I'll give you some important relations here to prove this. That important relations I'll write here. That important relations are, what is the divergence of cross product of two vectors A cross B. Divergence of cross product of two vectors. It can be written as del cross A dot product with B minus del cross B dot product with A. Next, another one, divergence of scalar multiplied by some vector will be is equal to A dot del phi plus scalar function phi into del dot. So these two relations will be useful to you in proving above identities, second one and third one. Okay. So I hope it is clear what is a Gauss divergence theorem. Now we will take some applications of it.